come from, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you.
All right. Can I go? Can I? Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I am Tina Jones, and I will be presenting today's service along with some others from our congregation who shall remain unnamed until later, not for any nefarious purposes. Tom Edge is providing technical assistance along with Lisa Merrill Price and Sue Drake. Thank you. Thank you to our greeter, who was Megan, and our music assistant, Sophia Singleton. Well, you were sitting there, that counted. Please be aware we are recording the service and it will be posted on our YouTube page eventually. For privacy, we do not record or post joys and concerns. We joined together this morning to seek justice, equality, and fairness in the world. Our hearts are touched by human need that we feel around us. Whether far away or within reach of our hands, we come here to be together because this is how we believe our lives are best lived. In questioning and in conversation, in compassion and in service, in gratitude and in joy, in companionship and love. It is good to be together with you this morning. For further news, please remember to read our weekly email. Read the weekly email that I suffered to put together, which provides comprehensive information about everything going on here at MVUUC. If there are visitors, if you want to start receiving it, there is a blue card in the front, in the back pocket on each seat, and put the card in the box on the greeters table. Yep, some people were helpfully holding that up. We also have envelopes in the seat backs for those of you who may want to use them for offertory. If you want tax credit for your contribution, please write your name on it so that Kelsey knows who to give credit to. Please take a minute to greet your neighbors.
Okay.
The chalice this morning will be lit by Anya. Is it light or light bearer?
Light bearer is my email address.
Oh, Anya Light. Thank you for coming. Please join me in saying the words that are provided as we light the chalice. This is a long one, so bear with me. We light this chalice during chaotic times. I invite you to allow its light to guide you, to bring you to a place where you feel balanced and present. Let it remind you to feel your breath. Thank you. Surround yourself with the things you cherish. Lead you to remember one of your happy places. Let it help you release the things you cannot control, and remember that you are not alone, that we are all connected and all working to be a beacon of light in this chaotic time. Carry this light with you, not in your hands, but in your words, in your invitations, in your willingness to begin. Let us begin. Now is the time for sharing of joys and concerns. Lisa, please stop recording the service. At MVU, so our first musical selection, for this I reached way back in the mental archives to junior high in the 1980-something. I was in choir, and our director, Mrs. Tustin, taught us a piece of music by Irving Berlin for our spring concert. And it started slow. This is my favorite kind of song. Starts slow and quiet, all of us singing the same part, and then we split into 4-part harmony, the volume building to a crescendo, and then dropping off to a whisper at the end. So dramatic. I loved it. The lyrics were the words from the poem The New Colossus by Emma Lazarus, which I had never heard of at that point. She wrote it in 1883 to help raise money to build the pedestal for the Statue of Liberty that was being installed in New York Harbor, the gift from France, as you all know. As a teenager, I was deeply moved by the song and the history behind it. I had never before wondered how the Statue of Liberty and her pedestal had come into being. It just was. I had never quite understood what it signified. It just was. Those words have echoed in my mind periodically ever since. So there are words provided for you on a sheet on your chair. You can join in or just listen. The performance is by the Yale Gospel Choir.
Give me your time, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these the homeless tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Give me your tide, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuge of your teeming shore. Send these the homeless tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door.
So the opening words today are the full poem, The New Colossus. Notice that the song we heard does not include all of the words from the poem, but rather focuses only on the ones attributed to Lady Liberty in the latter stanza. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land. Here at our sea-washed, sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name, Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep, ancient lands, your storied prompt, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless tempest tossed To me, I lift my lamp beside the golden door. So as we experience this time of America at 250 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence, we, the SSC, the Sunday Services Committee, decided we wanted to reflect on what America means to us as UUs and focus on what brings us hope in this time for the future of our country. So a few people have made contributions. Mine is the poem that I've just read to you and a little bit about immigration, because that is the thing that to me signifies America and gives me hope for the future. The mother of exiles, next slide, please. That's okay. My contribution is the salad bowl. The mother of exiles is the moniker given to the Statue of Liberty by Lazarus. This symbol, this poem, this concept of welcoming refugees, exiles, and the homeless has always been the crux of my understanding of America. As the descendant of immigrants, which we all are, the idea of America as a melting pot was my first real understanding of what our country signified. The melting pot seemed an apt analogy since everyone was expected to assimilate. And as the Borg of Star Trek proclaimed, resistance is futile. It used to be that immigrants were expected to learn English, dress in American fashion, eat American foods, and denounce other countries as less than in order to become American. And often this is still the expectation. But as I grew older, I was introduced to the salad bowl concept. In this model, rather than melting all together and becoming one new homogeneous group, we come together with our own unique cultures and differences and languages and beliefs and talents and create something new, better, more than. Throughout the nation's history, immigrants have been, at times, the villains of the American story, sometimes the heroes, often both. The first Deportation Act was passed in 1798. We were barely a country at that point. Then began the epic push and pull of immigrants. Chinese laborers were brought to the U.S. to provide low-wage labor, to supplement or replace enslaved people on plantations. That was quickly shut down. Then recruitment of Chinese workers ramped up when the Transcontinental Railroad was being built and they needed cheap labor again. But once it was complete, the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 reversed years of this trend of bringing Chinese into America. And so it went. Asians, Europeans, Middle Easterners, Africans, Pacific Islanders, etc. The country needed skilled, cheap laborers to build and grow the infrastructure and the economy. But then often people wanted them to go back home once they were done. They didn't want the competition for housing and better paid jobs and other resources. It's a tale as old as time. My point here is this. While the current trend to oust illegal immigrants and to block legal immigrants and asylum seekers from entering our country, this is unrealistic and unsustainable. They are ignoring the fact that immigrants have founded 50% of our billion-dollar companies in America were founded by our immigrant population. And they, in turn, provide many jobs, thousands and thousands of jobs for Americans in every kind of level and every kind of industry. Immigrants also provide skilled labor in fields Americans aren't always filling, as well as providing cheap, unskilled labor that many small companies rely on in order to prosper. Our country has always been a nation of immigrants and will continue to be so. The pendulum has swung this way before, and it will swing back in the future. It is the American way to have wildly changing attitudes and policies about immigrants in particular. But I remain excited to see what new waves of immigrants will help our country achieve. Exit stage. Our next contribution comes from Dawn Latta, who's not here, she's working. And it's the World Cup love affair. She was reflecting on how the World Cup has recently brought such positive reactions from our foreign visitors. She said, "The joy of World Cup visitors from around the world appreciating the beauty of our country and people, as well as our food, warms my heart and gives me hope for the future of our country." I'm sure here's my part about this. There have been several viral videos and news reports centered around this very concept. They love ranch dressing, Longhorn Steakhouse, Costco, and the friendly people they meet. This leads quite naturally to our next contribution from Bob Price. Thank you, Dawn. So Bob's contribution is, I am really grateful for AC. As you also have probably heard, Europe is having a massive heat wave, and we're having a massive heat wave, and but Europeans coming to our country are very surprised that even elevators are air conditioned and everything is air conditioned and that type of thing. So Bob provided this clip from Bill Mayer about this topic.
There are thousands of people from countries we think of as prosperous and advanced who have come here and are now saying they can no longer go on in life if they can't get ranch dressing. One woman from Sweden said, "Why did no one tell me ranch sauce is like crack?" Because it's not. Your crack must suck. Really, I never heard anyone say, "This crack is like eating ranch." But plainly, we have a lot of things here we assumed everyone has, and they don't. They came here for soccer and can't believe you can watch it while having a beer. Yeah, they don't have that in Europe. Let that sink in. In the paradise you think the rest of the world is, they can't drink beer in public without beating the shit out of each other. And have you seen Europeans reacting to air conditioning like it's some exotic experimental technology? Every summer they're sitting in a 400-year-old stone building, as opposed to America, where we ask the question, what if my living room didn't cause heat stroke?
Yes, we are very privileged, and I, for one, am grateful for that AC advantage. And Megan Rancier is next. She has a reflection about America, and she is also the one who found that image, or shared with me, the image from Time magazine of the Statue of Liberty that we used in the newsletter. Thank you, Megan.
I should say thank you to my husband for subscribing to Time, and it just arrived on our door, and I was like, oh, hey. And that image is by Shepard Fairey, who you might remember created the very famous image of Barack Obama during his presidential campaign, as well as the images of 3 women, an African-American woman, a Muslim woman, and an indigenous woman that had different slogans. And really, I think, gave people a lot of hope during a dark political time. So I'm going to give just a quick lead into a song. And for me, sorry, it's sounding a little, mic is sounding a little hot. Awesome. Perfect. Thanks, Tom. For me, the 250th is an opportunity not for mindless patriotism, but for reflection on where we've been as a country, the accomplishments we can take pride in, as well as the missteps we must learn from. And that's also part of Shepard Fairey's image, is on the collar piece, symbols representing accomplishments, social movements, things that really define American history. But we should also reflect on what we want this country to stand for in the future, because one of the positive things about this country is that Through sustained collective effort, we can, and we always have, made it what we want it to be. We're all looking for America in our own ways, putting our hopes and dreams into an image of whatever a more perfect union means to us. For me, that image is built around the core tenets of democracy, equity, multiculturalism, and respect for the natural world. It is no coincidence then that I am a Unitarian Universalist. These are values that we have struggled to uphold as a country, but the main catalysts driving the American experiment have always been groups of people dedicated to trying to make it better, more inclusive, more accountable, more supportive, more kind, moving away from a fixation on independence and leaning more into interdependence. I think in this community, July 4th is sometimes celebrated as Interdependence Day. As Robin Wall Kimmerer, author of Braiding Sweetgrass, said in a social media post this week, "We the people hold this truth to be self-evident, that all flourishing is mutual." I'm still looking for America in my own ways, and so I'd like to offer this musical meditation on the search for belonging, country, and self in Simon & Garfunkel's song, America. The narrator says he feels lost, empty, and aching on his journey, but he continues to travel alongside the many, many others who have all gone to search for America.
Let us be lovers, we'll marry our fortunes together. I've got some real estate here in my bag, so we bought a pack of cigarettes and Mrs. Wagner pies and walked off to look for America. Kathy, I said as we boarded a Greyhound in Pittsburgh, Michigan seems like a dream to me now. It took me 4 days to hitchhike from Saginaw. I've come to look for America. Laughing on the bus, playing games with the faces. She said the man in the gabardine suit was a spy. I said, be careful, his bow tie is really a camera. Toss me a cigarette, I think there's one in my raincoat. We smoked the last one an hour ago. So I looked at the scenery. She read her magazine, and the moon rose over an open field. Kathy, I'm lost, I said, though I knew she was sleeping. I'm empty and aching, and I don't know why. Counting the cars on the New Jersey Turnpike, they've all come to look for America. All come to look for America. All come to look for America.
All right, Tom, you have an image to share and explain to us? All right, come on up.
I didn't know that I would get to read my own, so I may ad-lib just a little tiny bit. So I know most people here do know me, but for some of our visitors, for some of our returning friends, folks may not know I teach in the Department of Ethnic Studies at BGSU. My PhD is in African American Studies. And it's fair to say that when that is the intellectual tradition from which I come, that July 4th is a complicated holiday for me. I teach about race for a living. I study race for a living. I talk in some of my classes about my own family, not just their immigrant experience, but how some of the children and grandchildren of those immigrants then joined anti-immigrant groups. I talk about some of my own experiences that have been profoundly shaped by my various identities, including my racial identity. And heaven knows, when we talked about this program within the Sunday Services Committee, instantly like 25 things came into my head. I had to say, okay, Tom, calm down. This is not your program alone. Think of one thing. And I could have very easily gone with, this is the anniversary of Frederick Douglass's What to the Slave is the 4th of July. And initially I thought, slam dunk, easy, done. And I realized something, as important as that is, I realized that part of what was asked of us is something that brings you pride. And when I thought about that, I thought of an image that I see often, that I've occasionally taught, and that reminds us not just what we're up against, but reminds us to take joy when those victories do come. The man being held aloft in that photograph is named L. Fondren. He was pretty much born, raised, and lived his entire life in and around Batesville, Mississippi. We're not exactly sure how old he is here. Some reports suggested that he was born in either 1859 or 1860, which would put him at about 106 years old here. Some documents suggest maybe he's a little bit younger than that. Maybe it's more like 1874 to 1876, which would mean he's only in his early 90s. But in either case, that means he was either born into slavery in Mississippi, or he was born at the tail end of Reconstruction, at a moment when Mississippi was adopting a wave of massive violence to dampen black voter participation about 15 years before it would formalize this through its state constitution. Here's what we do know. We do know that this was taken during the Meredith March in June of 1966. The Meredith March, of course, was launched by James Meredith, the same James Meredith who tried to integrate the University of Mississippi about 5 years earlier. He launched this march wanting to show that the South had changed, that it was a safer and better place, especially for African Americans. And he wanted to march starting in Tennessee and then go down to Jackson, Mississippi, to show that it was safe for him to do so. Shortly after crossing the Mississippi state border, James Meredith was shot by a sniper hiding in the bushes. Fortunately, he lived, though there were initial reports to the contrary that threatened to lead to rioting. But civil rights activists picked up the slack. They continued the march. They showed that we will not be dissuaded by this kind of violence. And along that march route, members of SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, engaged in massive waves of voter registration. Elfondren was one of the people who participated. And it just so happened that Bob Fitch, a photographer who did a lot of work covering the movement, was there when this happened. Now, if we go by the larger estimates, that meant that Bob Fitch went with Elfondren, 106 years old, as he walked into a Mississippi courthouse to register to vote for the very first time. He took photos of all parts of this process, but the one that stood out, the one that lived in people's memory, was when Elfondren left the courthouse and was being held aloft in joy by members of his community, by marchers who participated in the Meredith March, by activists who saw this as embodying exactly what they had been pushing for. We do know that Elfondren passed away in 1970. Age, unknown. We also know that when he passed away, he was now a voter. When he passed away, he was living in an America that had begun the process, a process still not completed, of dismantling Jim Crow. He died at least being recognized as a citizen, as much as he would ever be recognized as a citizen in his long life. I'm often brought up here to deliver kind of the hard messages, the hard truths, and I've accepted that role, and I enjoy that role. I don't often get a chance to come up here and show this side of it. I don't always get to come up here and show the joy. Yes, we can look at the shortcomings of the last 60 years now since this photograph was taken, and certainly keep in mind that the right to vote is very much under attack in 2026. This photo reminds us that victory is possible. It reminds us that hope is necessary. And it reminds us that some people born into conditions that seem like they're going to go on forever may yet live to see radical changes in their lifetimes. And if anything speaks to the American experience, I think that's it. Thank you.
Okay, Kelsey, you ready? Need to come up? Okay.
This is totally not a last-minute addition, I promise. So, for folks who don't know, and I'd be surprised because this is a set of stories that I love sharing with people anytime that I get a chance to. When I went to school at BGSU in 2011 in May, for 3 weeks, I lived and studied in Navajo Nation. Our first stop was at Pueblo Bonita. Pueblo Bonita is sacred to the Navajo in the same way that the Western Arches are considered sacred to many West Africans. And if you don't know what that means that those are both portals for those people being sold into slavery. Pueblo Bonita was founded somewhere between 1000 and 1300 AD. Archaeologists are still figuring that out, and many of the ruins have been reburied under avalanches because it is built right next to 1,000-foot drop cliffs. Pueblo Bonita is also at risk of fracking operations moving into the area, which of course would spur more earthquakes, which would spur these ruins being reburied again. And yet the archaeologists keep persisting. Also in Navajo Nation, for folks who don't know, large chunks of it are in the northern part of Arizona, And the northern part of Arizona is in mountains. The southern half is the desert. The northern half is all mountains. And in May, when we were there was a snowstorm, and it buried half of our tents. And so we had to, in a blinding panic, figure out where half of the students were going to go, or like 1/3 of the students were going to go. And then the other third would be in one set of camps, and then the other set would go to a neighbor's house. So 1/3 of us stayed with Francis Burnside, who was a medicine man, grew up and taught the traditional Navajo ways. 1/3 of us went to a log cabin, an 8-sided log cabin called a hogan, which is a traditional Navajo building. And another third of us, which included me, went to this older man who was very proudly talking about how he built his house with his own 2 hands and broke both of his legs building the roof, and he was so proud of it. He reminded me so much of my grandpa. And being at Navajo Nation and seeing a lot of the poverty that many of the people lived with, and seeing at that same house that I stayed at for that one night, there were instructions above the toilet for how to use the toilet. If it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. And instructions for how to use the shower, and shower for no more than 10 minutes at a time, or else we will run out of water. The Navajo have to import their water because all of their water in Navajo Nation is tainted by coal and uranium mining operations, and has been for several decades. And yet, these are also the same people that I had gone to a Lutheran mission church. They had the sacred Navajo colors on their sign. They were preserving the language. They were teaching the language to children under the age of 10. There was a little brown girl with a massive afro who was 8 or 9 years old who sang us perfectly America the Beautiful in Navajo. And it was one of the best experiences that I ever had. This country is complicated, and its legacy is at best mixed. But that's what I love about this country so much, is that there is that mixed legacy, and yet we keep persisting.
So I noticed that as I read through these reflections and listened to them as well, the themes, of course, mirror so many of our UU shared values. Beliefs we hold as UUs go in hand with our country's founding documents: pluralism, equality, interdependence, social justice, transformation, generosity. They're all essential parts of the American social contract. The work to be accountable to one another, to support each other and fight for the rights of anyone who is denied them, and what has been promised to them by the founders is daunting and necessary, and I say patriotic. I hope as we move forward, many of us who have cringed away from patriotism can begin to feel a passion for our country that is born out of a recognition that the United States of America is an ideal very much worth fighting for, to preserve and to make better, and keep that moral arc bending toward justice. May it be so.
Born down in a dead man's town, the first kick
So this was indirectly my contribution to this topic. And notably, I am not familiar with Bruce Springsteen very much. I don't really listen to any of his songs, but as a musician, I respect his place among some of the great American songwriters. And one thing that we're reminded of when the flames of revolution run hot and run high is that everybody has a different part to play. And Bruce Springsteen's, as well as many others, is to write the battle cries that we can all rally around. And the legacy of this song is mixed. He wrote it as a protest song initially, but the chorus is more what's heralded and used as a patriotic anthem of we are all born here. But in showing the lyrics and reading them a little bit closer, you can see how it depicts a veteran's struggles once they have come home from the fight. And I didn't really have much to say other than being in this country is fighting the good fight every day, every time you walk outside. And when I was younger and it was more mandatory to say the pledge, liberty and justice for all is what we said. And I think liberty and justice for all is what we are still fighting for. So find your battle cry and sing it as loud as you can, because they can't silence all of us.
Okay, so now there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this church, which is important to so many of us. We gratefully dedicate this offering to the good of the church, the wider community, and the world. If you make automatic pledge payments and would like to indicate this support, please place one of the yellow cards in the basket. And again, if you want today's contribution to go towards your annual pledge, please write your name on the front of an envelope so we know who to credit it to. Thank you. Our closing words today come from the Declaration of Independence. Walter Isaacson, in his new treatise entitled The Greatest Sentence Ever Written, declares this, the most perfectly composed sentence in history. He spends the pages of his short book explaining why and how. I have it in the car. I meant to bring it in to show people, but it was a very interesting book to read. He goes through each and every word choice and discusses the history of it, the problems inherent in it, and the meaning and how it has changed over the years since they were written and how things were edited. It was a very good, interesting read at this time. But here they are. And if you're a Hamilton fan, you'll hear it in the Schuyler sisters' voices. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Let us carry the flame of the chalice into the world, serving others with love and a sense of justice. Join me in reading the words provided as we extinguish the chalice. Our faith, like a light, illuminates the path before us, so that we can face hurt with love, cultivate compassion, live humbly in community, and confront despair with the awe of life. Though our flame is extinguished, our faith shines bright before us. Before the closing song, we have time for a few brief announcements. Come to the podium if you'd like to make one.
Good morning. So first of all, I want to thank Bob and Rich for painting the shed and the, I guess there's like a garbage hut. So I know Bob and Rich worked on it last Sunday and they got like 2 sides painted. But every day I got a notification from the ring that Rich was here with his white truck and he finished up the shed and then he did the hut. So thank you very much, Rich, for just plugging away at that and making it look nice. So thank you. So this is going to be a busy week for me here at the church. Today, we have the big desk in the back in the office, the old office. We need to move it from that room to the front entrance because on Thursday, the Restore from Bowling Green is going to come by and pick it up along with one of the bookcases that are out there. So I need strong people. I'm not going to say strong men because I know that there are women here that can also lift and carry, but Bob bought sliders. So we just lift it up, put the sliders on the feet, slide it across, hopefully the flooring, and then get it into the entryway. And then I'll be here on Thursday. They're going to come by sometime between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. to pick it all up. So I'm hoping it's 10 a.m., Knockwood. If I'm going to try to fill my time by weeding, so might as well get something accomplished, right? If anybody wants to stop by on Thursday between 10 and 3, you got some time to spend with me. I wouldn't mind some company. Kathy, I know, I'm thinking of Kathy. Okay, tomorrow I will be here from 9 a.m. to whatever, because IKEA is going to be dropping off some new bookcases for our library. So, so I'll be here again. So Kathy, I'll be here at 8. Maybe we can tackle those 2 trees out there that have a forest of weeds. And then, let's see, next Sunday, the theme of the service, which I will be giving, is called The Clairs. Are You Psychic? And this has to do with like clairvoyance and clair this and clair that. So it's a little woo-woo, I know, but I think that whole interdependence of life, there's a level on there that you don't see and smell and touch and whatever, and it's there. So I'm hoping that some of you will come prepared with some stories of things that have happened to you. I'm going to share some stories of things that have happened to me that have convinced me that there's something going on there, and I hope you'll join me. So thank you.
Meditation, Wednesdays, 6 to 7. You are welcome to come. Drop in anytime. Wednesdays, 7:15 to 8:30, yoga. You are welcome to drop in anytime. We have a good time together, we enjoy each other, and we practice together the embodied practices of Thich Nhat Hanh, Pema Chodron, and many others from other cultures. Actually, we had one from Japan, very interesting, recently. On August 29th, which is a Saturday, we're going to have a half-day retreat here. And it's a meditation retreat that will be practicing with noble silence. We will have walking, sitting, eating, mindful breathing. We will have some readings from Buddhist writings. And we would ask you to carefully join if you would like to. And you might want to talk to me about that first if you haven't done something like that before. So please come and enjoy together. Thank you.
Quick announcement on behalf of Noel. So there's still some slots left for kids in Camp Emberwood in August, that weekend in August. So if you know anybody, any kids that would be interested in participating, it's going to be a fun time.
A reminder about the intersectional reading group. We're going to be reading the graphic novel Persepolis. Our first meeting will be Thursday, July 16th at 7 p.m. via Zoom. If you need information, you can talk to me, but it's also in the newsletter. So thank you.
This is a belated joy and concern that I'm giving because I got here a little late, but I'm going to do it in reverse order. Concern, my daughter did not have a very good 4th of July. Some Yahoo neighbors lit off high-powered fireworks and totally burned her garage to cinders, and her car exploded. The good news is she's okay. So the first was my concern. My joy is she's okay, and also she's here, and I love her. And she's my girl, Tara. Love you a lot, hon.
Are there any announcements from online? Okay. I have a quick announcement. Our Sunday Services Committee meeting is normally scheduled for the first Sunday of the month, but I'm going to postpone it till next Sunday at 6 p.m. on Zoom. Anyone is welcome to join. Just email me at news@nvuuc.org for an invitation to the Zoom call. And that is it. After the closing song, we invite everyone to stay for our cookout potluck that's going on. And I just want to say I appreciate everyone who made contributions today and everyone who came out. We have a great turnout for a summer service. Everyone keeps saying summers are slow. No way. No way, Jose. And I hope everyone goes safely today and with love in their heart. Thank you.
Join me in the great hymnal for hymn 170. We are a gentle, angry people. You may stand or sit as spirit moves you. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing
and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. Happy Sunday, friends.